A man stormed into the restaurant, pointed at his empty plate, and demanded, "Give me a full refund, even though I ate everything." When I refused, he laughed, "Then I'll just walk out without paying." I smiled, held up a receipt, and said, "Perfect, because your credit card was already charged before you even sat down." I run a small restaurant in Portland, Oregon. Nothing fancy. We serve comfort food, big portions, decent prices, and the kind of place where regulars come in 3 times a week, sit at the same booth, and leave with leftovers. It's not trendy, it's not overpriced, and I keep it simple. That's what our customers like about it. I've seen all kinds of people come through. Some are kind, some are just hungry, and some walk in like they own the world. That's what happened on a slow Tuesday afternoon in February. We'd just come off the lunch rush. I was behind the counter, going over supplier invoices, and my staff was cleaning up. That's when he walked in. He looked like the type who watched a lot of motivational YouTube videos about dominating the world. Slick hair, loud shoes, obnoxious watch. He didn't wait to be seated. Just marched up to a booth, dropped into the seat, and started snapping his fingers like he was calling a dog. One of my waitresses, Mia, went over to him. She's 22, polite, and doesn't take crap from anyone. I heard bits of their exchange. He talked over her, ordered 3 entrees, a beer, and dessert. All at once. No hello, no please, no thank you. She wrote it down, shrugged at me across the room, and put the order in. He ate like he hadn't seen food in days. Plates cleared one by one. Not a crumb left. The only break he took was to check his phone every 2 minutes and smirk at whatever he saw on it. The whole time, he barely looked up at Mia. No feedback. No thanks. Just grunted when she offered to refill his drink. Then it happened. After the last plate was cleared and he'd finished scraping the dessert dish with his spoon, he stood up, stomped over to the counter, and pointed at the empty space on the table like it owed him money. "Yeah," he said, loud and smug. "I want a full refund." I blinked. "Excuse me?" "A refund," he said. Food was cold. Service was trash. "I want my money back." Mind you, every single plate had been scraped clean. Not even a garnish left. The dishes were warm. Mia's service was fine. I'd been watching the whole time. I stared at him, waiting for the punchline. He didn't blink. "You're serious?" I asked. "Dead serious," he said. "Or I'll just walk out without paying." Simple as that. Now, this is where most places cave. They don't want a scene. They don't want a 1-star Yelp review. They just hand over a gift card or comp the meal. But I've been doing this too long, and I've seen his type before. He was trying to scam us, plain and simple. Looking for a fight, or at least for someone to back down. I didn't. Instead, I reached under the counter, pulled up the little thermal receipt, and held it in front of him. "Perfect," I said. "Because your card was already charged before you even sat down." His face twitched. He looked at the receipt. "What the hell are you talking about?" "You used the online ordering system to reserve a table and prepay," I told him. "It's a new option. You must have hit the wrong button when you booked." He blinked. "No, I didn't." I pointed at the printed line. "Says here, paid in full, plus tip. You left 15%. "Thank you, by the way." He grabbed at the receipt like he could rip the proof out of existence. But it was there, plain as day. His name, the date, the total. Visa ending in 82XX. "Give me the money back anyway," he snapped. "Nope," I said. "You paid. You ate. That's it." He stepped forward. Too close. Trying to intimidate me. "You really want to play hardball?" he said. I looked him dead in the eye. "I'm not playing. You got a full belly and a paid receipt. Now walk, or I call the cops." He didn't like that. His mouth opened, then closed. I could see him weighing his options. He looked around. No backup. No crowd cheering him on. Just regulars watching from their booths and my staff standing silently behind the counter. And me, calm and not moving an inch. He finally sneered, turned around, and started walking toward the door. I thought that was the end of it. It wasn't. Not even close. A few days passed. I almost forgot about him. Business went on like usual. I was too busy fixing the leaking sink behind the counter and dealing with a delivery that brought us chicken instead of fish. You know, the usual mess. Until Saturday night. We were packed. Saturday evenings always are. Families, couples, two retired guys who always argue about football at table 3. Mia and the other servers were rushing around, and I was behind the bar helping pour drinks. Then Mia leaned in close to me and whispered, "He's back." I looked over her shoulder. There he was. Same guy. Slick hair, smug face, now wearing a blazer like he was about to give a TED Talk. He wasn't alone this time. 2 men with him, dressed the same, tight shirts, shiny watches, wide shoulders. All 3 looked like they were trying way too hard. They didn't sit at a booth. They stood in the middle of the floor like they were waiting for a red carpet to appear. Should we ask them to leave? Mia asked. No, I said. Let's see what this is. I walked over. Table for 3? He smiled. It wasn't a friendly smile. No table, he said. Just here to talk. His 2 buddies flanked him like backup singers. About what? I asked. He didn't waste time. You embarrassed me the other day. That was a mistake. My stomach didn't drop. I didn't feel fear. Just that cold kind of awareness you get when you realize someone's not playing around. This is a restaurant, I said. Not a boxing ring. You want to eat, sit? Otherwise, get out. He leaned in. You think I care about your little diner? You think I can't shut this place down? I raised an eyebrow. Is that a threat? He shook his head slowly. It's a promise. Then they walked out. No yelling. No broken plates. Just that quiet, serious kind of tension that sticks to your skin like grease. Later that night, I went to check the reviews online. That's when I saw it. New reviews started flooding in. 1 star after another. All posted within the same hour. Food was cold and soggy. Waitress was rude and ignored us. Owner screamed at my kids. Found a hair in my soup. Smelled like mildew in the dining area. Fake names. Fake stories. But they were smart. Just believable enough to make a casual reader think twice. By the end of the weekend, our Google rating dropped from 4.7 to 3.2. That may not sound like much, but in this business, it's huge. People scroll past anything under 4 stars. We lost 30 reservations for the following week. 30. I knew it was him. I tried reporting the reviews, but that takes time. And platforms aren't exactly in a rush to help small business owners. The next few days were slow. People walked by the windows, looked in, kept walking. I heard whispers at the grocery store. Even the UPS guy asked if something happened here. My staff started getting nervous. One of the cooks asked if we were gonna shut down for a bit. Mia asked if she should start looking for a second job, just in case. I told them we weren't going down that easy. I spent the next night digging. Deep. I remembered his name from the receipt. Found him on social media. It wasn't hard. He used the same username everywhere. Big Steve wins. And let me tell you something, Big Steve posted everything. Pictures of his business empire, motivational quotes under gym selfies, videos of him talking about hustle culture from the front seat of a rented BMW. But the best part? He tagged his location in almost every post. He lived across the river. Not far. That's when I had an idea. I won't say everything I did yet, but let's just say I started documenting everything. His fake reviews. The timestamps. His social posts. I set up a security camera inside the restaurant. Pulled the footage from the day he first came in and the night he returned with his buddies. Labeled everything, made a little digital folder, titled it, Steve's Scam Circus. Then I waited. Waited for the next move. And it came fast. He filed a chargeback on his credit card. Claimed the food was never served. That we overcharged him. That he walked out in protest. I got the notice from the payment processor 2 days later. That's when I snapped. I gathered all my files, screenshots, the receipt, the security footage, everything and made a different kind of post. This wasn't a revenge post. Not yet. Just the truth. I put it all online. A full write-up of what happened. Dates, times, screenshots, video clips with his face clearly in them. No personal attacks. Just facts. Then I tagged him. It took 2 hours before the comments started rolling in. More than I expected. Turns out, I wasn't the only one. Another small bakery from Salem commented, "He tried this with us too." A food truck owner from Beaverton, same scam. Same line. We lost $600 in refunds. Even someone from a fitness center added, "He staged a fall in our lobby and threatened to sue." People started paying attention. Some of his followers didn't care, but others started asking questions. And that's when his carefully built online image began to crack. But I wasn't done yet. Because while he was busy dealing with the fallout online, I was setting up something offline. Something he wouldn't see coming. And that part? That's where things started to get real. His Instagram went dark first. 1 minute, it was motivational quotes and gym selfies. The next, every post was wiped. Then his Facebook disappeared. Then Twitter, or X, or whatever it's called now. Gone. Like he'd never existed online. But the comments didn't stop. The bakery, the food truck, the gym, once they spoke up, more people did too. A used car lot in Vancouver. A bar in Eugene. Even a dog groomer claimed he tried to get free service by faking an allergic reaction. This wasn't a one-off. This was a pattern. He'd been doing this for years. Same script. Loud complaint. Public scene. Fake refund requests. Bad reviews if denied. And when he got away with it, he bragged online. I felt both relieved and sick. Relieved that I wasn't crazy, that it wasn't just me. Sick because of how many people he hurt with this game. But there was one thing no one else had, a receipt with his real full name and the last 4 digits of his credit card. So I called a friend. I won't name him, but let's just say he works in a certain place where information isn't hard to find if you know the right people. A week later, I had his real name, address, and most importantly, his business license filings. Or rather, the 4 businesses he claimed to run, a marketing firm, a consulting group, a digital branding agency, and a vending machine supplier. All registered to the same P.O. box. It gets better. One of those businesses had a BBB, Better Business Bureau, complaint log. 7 entries. All unresolved. One lady wrote that she paid him to build a website for her nail salon. He took the deposit, blocked her number, and vanished. Now, here's the twist. 2 of his businesses were behind on taxes. Public record. He owed money. Not a fortune, but enough to get letters from the state. It was clear he was juggling too many lies at once and the balls were starting to drop. I printed everything out. All of it. Made a little packet. Stapled and highlighted. Then I dropped it off at the Small Business Bureau downtown and submitted another copy to the State Attorney General's office. Consumer Protection Division. Then I waited again. But not for long. On a rainy Tuesday morning, a woman walked into the restaurant. She looked like she worked in an office, neat hair, trench coat, clipboard. She showed me her badge. Consumer Protection Investigator. She asked if she could talk to me about a man named Stephen Marley. Yes, that was his full name. Stephen Marley. I sat her down, poured her coffee on the house, and handed her my packet. She read every page. Didn't say much. Just nodded, flipped, highlighted a couple lines. Then she said, "You're not the only one." Apparently, several complaints had landed on her desk in the last month. Enough that she opened a preliminary case file. But mine was the most detailed, especially with the video footage, the time-stamped reviews, and that golden receipt with his payment details. She thanked me and left. That night, I saw Big Steve's car across the street. Same BMW he always posed with. He was just sitting in it, parked in front of a fire hydrant, staring through our windows. Watching us. He didn't come in. Just sat there. Mia saw it too. You think he's gonna do something? She asked. Probably, I said. But it's not going to work. We locked up early that night, just in case. Made sure everyone left in pairs. I walked Mia to her car. We all had a weird feeling in our stomachs. Next morning, someone had smashed one of the windows. Front right panel. Not huge, but enough glass on the floor to make a statement. No note. No spray paint. Just a rock and broken glass. We filed a police report. Gave them everything. The video from our outside cam caught a blurry figure in a hoodie, but no clear face. The cop who showed up looked tired. Said there wasn't much they could do. Probably just some random vandal. I didn't believe that. None of us did. But that's when something else changed. People started coming in because of the drama. They heard the story online. Some came from other parts of town just to support us. We read about what that guy did, they'd say. We wanted to make sure you're still open. A food blogger even showed up. Wrote a piece about us titled, "The Diner That Fought Back." And then, just when I thought I'd seen everything, an envelope showed up under our door. No return address. Just my name in sloppy handwriting. Inside? A printed photo. It was my house. Taken at night. From the street. Through the front bushes. That's when the fear hit. This wasn't a scam anymore. This was personal. And I was done playing nice. I didn't sleep that night. I sat by the window with the lights off, a baseball bat in my lap. My dog, Toby, lay at my feet, ears twitching at every noise outside. Every time a car rolled by, I held my breath. That photo of my house crossed a line. It wasn't about bad reviews anymore. It wasn't about money. This guy, Stephen Marley, wanted to scare me. He wanted to win. And he thought intimidation was his weapon. But I had one of my own, the truth. And people were watching now. I spent the next morning doing two things. First, I installed new security cameras around my house. Front, back, even the alley by the garage. I gave the footage from the previous night to the cops and asked if they could patrol my street a little more. They nodded politely. I could tell they weren't going to do much. Second, I called the investigator again, the one who'd come into the restaurant. She answered right away. I told her about the envelope, the smashed window, the car watching us. She got real quiet. Then she said, "We're escalating this." Later that day, she showed up with another guy in a suit. They weren't police, but they weren't messing around either. They asked more questions, took copies of the security footage, and said they were opening a formal investigation into Stephen Marley for fraud, harassment, and possibly even extortion. But I wasn't done waiting around. I posted one more time on the restaurant's Facebook page. Not dramatic. Just calm, clear words. To our community, we've been dealing with harassment and threats from someone trying to destroy our small business. If you've had a similar experience with this person, please come forward. Your story matters. Thank you for standing by us. The next 48 hours were wild. People poured in. Not just customers, but other business owners. A florist from Gresham. A tattoo shop owner from Salem. A barista from Bend. All with the same story. Different scam, same guy. Lies, threats, manipulation. I collected every single one. Names, dates, amounts. I printed them all. Then the twist I never saw coming hit me right in the gut. I got a message from a woman named Marcy. She said, "He used to be my fiancé." She came in after hours and sat in the booth near the window. Nervous, twisting a paper napkin in her hands. She looked worn down. Marcy told me everything. Stephen wasn't just a scam artist. He was a narcissist. He believed people were pawns. Even her. He'd lied to her for years about money, about jobs, about family. He used her credit card to fund one of his businesses, left her with $12,000 in debt. When she tried to leave, he threatened her with fake legal documents. I was afraid of him for a long time, she said. I'm not anymore. She gave me her statement. Signed it. Gave me copies of texts, emails, voicemails. All of it. That was the last piece. I sent the full package, statements, videos, photos, letters, reviews, to the investigator. 1 week later, Stephen Marley was arrested outside a gym in Vancouver. The charge, felony fraud, followed by more counts of harassment, filing false reports, and cyberstalking. Turns out, the state had been watching him for a while, but our case, our voices, pushed it over the line. They raided his so-called office. It was just a rented storage unit. Inside were folders full of targets. Names, places, printed Yelp reviews with notes like easy to bully or complains when angry, use it. He had a list. We were all on it. The trial dragged out. He denied everything. Said he was being targeted. That we were making it up. But with the paper trail, the video evidence, and Marcy's testimony, he didn't stand a chance. He's in prison now. 7 years. The restaurant? We're doing better than ever. The story made local news. Then it went national. We were on one of those morning shows. People showed up from all over just to say, "Glad you didn't back down." We still have the photo that he left in the envelope. It's framed on the wall, next to the receipt that started it all. Customers ask about it, and we tell them that was the moment we knew we had to fight. And here's the truth I learned, something I didn't expect. I made a mistake too. I waited too long to speak up. I thought ignoring him would make him go away. I thought being the bigger person was the way to handle it. But people like him feed off silence, off fear, off the idea that no one will say anything. I won't make that mistake again.